The original Meriva was not the most memorable of cars. It was really too small to be taken seriously as an MPV, and the styling was innocuous at best. But the Meriva name has lived on to fight another day, and this latest version certainly is a vast improvement on its predecessor.
For starters, it's a more handsome machine, with fresher looks and a more contemporary character. The shape is less utilitarian and now expresses an understated agility that promises both ease of use and winning dynamics. The newcomer is longer, wider and lower than before, allowing a more planted stance and promising more interior space. Generous glass areas suggest good visibility too, but innovation is also part of the package.
The rear doors of the Meriva are what attract the most attention here. As you can see, the door opens rearwards at an angle of almost 90 degrees compared to the 67 degrees you achieve with the average car. That of course makes entry and exit a lot easier, and it also makes it easier to fit baby seats, which Opel says is an important element given the family target market of the car.
The Meriva's rear doors may open in the wrong direction, but they're not true suicide doors either, because the traditional B-pillar remains in place, and that means that the aperture created when opening the door is no larger than that of a normal one, even if access is improved. In profile, the way the window line dips just behind the B-pillar adds an interesting visual kick, while up front, the trapezoidal grille's brightwork dominates proceedings. Large headlight clusters on either side are equipped with daytime running lights, while the extensive color coding ensures a cohesive appearance. There's a sloping roofline to provide a more streamlined look than the otherwise boxy dimensions would imply, but there's no disguising that this is an MPV with all the pragmatic implications that title implies.
Those rear hinge doors aren't the only innovative part of the Meriva. The luggage compartment and the rear bench seat can be configured in different ways depending on the number of occupants and the amount of cargo space required.
Dubbed Flex Space, the system was already a feature of the first Meriva but has been improved for its application here and is much more user-friendly. The ambience of the interior is unexpectedly upmarket, with a full house of features that range from dual-stage climate control and multi-speaker sound to electric windows and mirrors, remote central locking, a multifunction steering wheel and cruise control. The new Meriva has a center console that can be configured in a variety of ways, depending on the preferences of its occupants. The simple but clever system features various interchangeable storage units that can be moved forwards or backwards on a rail system located between the two front seats. Would-be Meriva buyers get to choose between two variants, the Enjoy and the Cosmo, as featured here. The latter is the more upmarket model and is also more expensive. In addition to some minor specification differences and more upmarket finishes, the biggest difference between the two is a full-length glass roof with a motorized shade that can be opened or closed at the push of a button. In fact, the overall ergonomics are excellent, with a comfortable driving position and loads of adjustment scope. The driver's seat can be raised or lowered, and the steering wheel can be adjusted for rake and reach. The Meriva's primary switchgear is intuitive enough, but the sea of buttons and controls in the central dashboard area is daunting at first and takes some getting used to. At least the main instruments are well placed and clearly legible. The mechanical underpinnings prove that Opel subscribes to the current trend of smaller capacity turbocharged engines in an effort to provide enough urge while keeping fuel consumption and emissions under control.
The Meriva is powered by a 1.4-litre four-cylinder engine with a turbocharger on top, allowing a maximum power output of 103 kilowatts, linked to a torque peak of 200 Newton meters. Drivers to the front wheels via a 6-speed manual gearbox.
It may be a small engine, but it still provides ample brio, thanks in part to a useful power-to-weight ratio of 75 kilowatt per tonne. Fuel consumption depends on the enthusiasm of the driver, but Opel claims a combined cycle figure of 6.7 litres per 100 kilometres, while open road cruising can see that figure drop to as low as 5.4 litres per 100 kilometres.
In dynamic terms, the Meriva surprises and delights. For what is ostensibly a mom's taxi, this car has a lot of get up and go. The 0 to 100 time 10.3 seconds, top speed 196 kilometers an hour. But it's the handling that really impresses here. The Meriva always feels more like a road car than an MPV.
Mid-gear acceleration is eager, although you will need to keep that turbo on the boil. At cruising speeds, effective overtaking requires some assistance by gearing down. The handling is confident, and the Meriva shows lots of composure in the twisties, even when pressing on. Clearly, your average Meriva driver is unlikely to treat it like a sports car, but it's good to know that there's plenty of grip and that body roll is notable only by its absence, despite the taller stance and raised seating position.
The second generation Opel Meriva is a far more convincing package than its predecessor. It has the space, the spec, the quality and the dynamic appeal to go with the flexibility and the versatility you'd expect of an MPV. And those rear hinge doors, of course, mean that innovation is also part of the package.
Despite its compact engine, the Meriva is a lively performer with a nimble chassis that adds to the unexpected dynamic appeal of this little MPV. Add the space and innovation of its well-thought-out interior, and the Meriva emerges as a tempting family runabout. But the brand deserves more shine than it currently commands.